Peace be with you. I'm out here hiking today, and it's always easier for me to think when I'm in these places, and always easier to make videos because my mind is clearer. So I wanted to make this video about a very important topic in the Quran, and that is hypocrites, or the Munafiqs. This topic only relates to those people who call themselves Muslims, because the term Munafiq does not relate to anyone other than the people who call themselves Muslims. Because there are different names for other people, like disbelievers, they're kuffar, and other people are people of the book, so the Christians and the Jews. So none of them are referenced with this term, although they can be hypocrites. None of them are referenced with this term in the Quran. This is exclusively for those people who call themselves Muslims. And this is a very important topic because God tells Prophet Muhammad to announce for the hypocrites a painful punishment. And also God says that the hypocrites are in the lowest stage of the fire, so even worse than the disbelievers. And they will have no helper. So it is important to understand the difference between a Muslim and a Munafiq, because it relates to the people who call themselves Muslims. So although we may feel that we're Muslims, we actually may be Munafiqs, or the hypocrites. So, and it's important to understand this topic and the difference between the two. So in the Quran, well, first of all, the people, they're taught that simply proclaiming the Shahada, which is the Islamic proclamation of faith, I bear witness that there is no God but God, and that Muhammad is his messenger, is enough to be a Muslim, which is absolutely not true, because in the surah Munafiq, I think it's the 63rd chapter in the Quran, God says, surely the hypocrites say, most surely you are the messenger of God. And God knows that you are his messenger, and God bears witness that the hypocrites are liars. So they come to Prophet Muhammad, they say the Shahada, they say the proclamation of faith, they say you are the messenger of God, but God tells them, hey, they're still hypocrites. They are Munafiqs because they're liars. So people who claim that Prophet Muhammad is the messenger of God, but don't act accordingly, then they're just lying. They don't believe that. So God gives that warning, and that's the first thing that I wanted to mention. Just saying that you are a Muslim, just saying the Shahada, just saying the proclamation of faith is not enough to be a Muslim. You can still fall under the category of Munafiq, and for you is news of a painful punishment. So that's not enough. You have to think further. The next verse I wanted to mention is in chapter Nisa, the fourth chapter of the Quran. And God says, surely the hypocrites strive to deceive God, and he will requite their deceit to them. When they stand up for prayer, they stand up sluggishly, and they do it only to be seen of men or people, and they do not remember God except a little. So that's the next thing to consider, right? God, for example, God commands prayer in the Quran, and these people, they actually pray. But they only pray to be seen of people. So they pray to get benefit from a community, right? They pray to be included in the community. They don't pray for God. So they're lying. They don't have this. They don't have a sincere devotion to God. So therefore, they are not Muslims. They are Munafiqs. Now, to relate that to the communities of today, we have communities of Muslims who don't pray at all. They don't pray at all. They don't even pretend to try to fake it, yet they continue to call themselves Muslims. So these people, God warns them that they are Munafiqs. God defines them as Munafiqs, hypocrites. And so it's very important to kind of reconsider our positions because, this is very, very important. We're not even faking. People aren't even faking anymore. They just don't pray. So it's a very, very sad state. But I wanted to spread this because it's in the Quran and important to note. The next verse I wanted to mention is in the Surah Tawbah, in the 9th chapter of the Quran. And it has to deal with knowledge. So God says the desert Arabs are most severe in their disbelief and hypocrisy, and most predisposed not to know the limits of what God has revealed to his messenger. And God is knowing and wise. So these people don't know the limits of what God has revealed, right? And that is, how are you going to be a Muslim if you don't know the limits of what God has revealed, right? If you don't know what framework you're allowed to operate in. So Muslim means to submit to God. So how can you submit to God if you don't know what you can and cannot do? So that is another mark of hypocrites. They don't have knowledge, nor do they seek knowledge. They just make things up as they go. And so if you are like that, God does not define you as a Muslim in the Quran. God defines you as a hypocrite. So it's very scary, because I know many people who feel that they are Muslims who live like that, and it's scary. I used to be one of those people, and that's the only reason why I make these videos. You know, I have my own shortcomings that I strive against every single day, but I'm sincere in trying to fix them. So, you know, nobody is claiming perfection. It's just we have to not fit these criteria of people who are described by this term Munafiq or hypocrite in the Quran. And one of them is they don't seek knowledge. How can you obey if you don't seek knowledge? And the last verse I wanted to mention, there's a few more, but for the sake of brevity, this will be the last one, is the hypocritical men and hypocritical women are all alike. They command evil and forbid good and withhold their hands. And they have forsaken God, and God has forsaken them. Most surely the hypocrites, the munafiq, are fasikun, are defiantly disobedient. Usually English translation will say they are transgressors, but the better translation is actually defiantly disobedient. So hypocrites, they don't obey God. Even what they do know, so they don't obey. They do what God defined as evil, and they don't do what God commanded as good. They are stingy, they don't give their charity, and they are defiantly disobedient. So that's it. For people who call themselves Muslims, this is a very important topic. If you call yourself a Muslim, you actually may be a munafiq. And understanding the difference between the two is very important, because literally your soul depends on this. So I just wanted to make this video to kind of share that, and hopefully people can get some benefit from it. You know, that's it.